All right, so we're diving into Langchain and Llamaindex, right? Two pretty big names in the whole generative AI world.
Absolutely.
And we're trying to like cut through all the hype, figure out which one is the one that people actually need for their AI toolkit, you know?
Exactly.
I've got to say, I'm already fascinated by these articles you sent over.
Oh, good.
They're
Yeah, they're very it's interesting how these tools approach making sense of data.
okay.
You know, it's like they each have a superpower,
Right.
but they use it in completely different ways.
Okay, so now you've got me. Like, I'm really curious.
Yeah.
One of the articles called Langchain, the Swiss Army Knife of NLP Applications.
Right.
And I understand, like, I get the versatility thing, but
Yeah.
give me an example that really drives it home. Like, why is that such a good analogy?
Okay, so picture this. A team of doctors are using a Langchain-powered chatbot to try to diagnose this really rare disease.
Wow.
They feed it all this information, medical journals, clinical trial data, even patient records, and boom.
Oh, wow.
The chatbot can actually connect the dots, right? It can provide insights that no human could have possibly gleaned from that much information.
Right, right.
So that's the power of Langchain, right?
Yeah.
It's that integration of these large language models, LLMs, with these diverse data sources for very specific real-world applications.
Now, that is what I'm talking about. It's one thing to say custom NLP pipelines,
Right.
but to think about it helping diagnose diseases, that's like next-level stuff.
Exactly, and this modularity is key.
Okay.
It's like Langchain is giving you the building blocks to create these really powerful NLP workflows. And you can tailor them to your specific needs, right? Let's say you need to translate really complex technical documents across multiple languages,
Right.
but you need to maintain that industry-specific jargon.
Right, right.
Langchain can do that.
Okay, so powerful, but as with anything this flexible, I'm guessing there's got to be a trade-off.
Sure.
The articles kind of hinted at a steeper learning curve for Langchain.
You're spot on. Yeah. It's not drag and drop.
Right.
It gives you incredible granular control.
Yeah.
But that requires, a solid understanding of NLP concepts and programming.
Makes sense.
This is for the developers who want to get their hands dirty and really craft these very unique solutions from the ground up.
So for those who maybe aren't ready to, build their own AI from scratch,
Sure.
what about Llamaindex? The article mentioned something about it being like a really high-powered search engine for massive data sets.
Massive. Yeah, it's all about speed and scale.
Okay.
So imagine querying a data set so large, it would make Google search sweat.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Llamaindex uses these advanced indexing techniques to return results in milliseconds.
Oh, wow.
Which is absolutely crucial when you're dealing with real-time data analysis.
Right.
Or you have this constant influx of information.
Right. It's got to be fast.
It has to be fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, time for a little peek behind the curtain.
Sure.
What's going on behind the scenes to make it so fast?
Right.
What are these inverted indexes the article mentioned? Like, what is that?
So think of a library catalog.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Instead of browsing every single book, you search for specific keywords.
And the catalog tells you exactly where to find those books.
Right.
Inverted indexes work very similarly,
Okay.
but on a massive scale.
Okay.
So that's what allows Llamaindex to pinpoint that information within these massive data sets with incredible speed.
So instead of digging through like mountains of data, it's like having a roadmap to the exact like nuggets of information that you need.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's a great way to put it.
But what about going beyond simple keywords?
Right.
How does it?
Yeah, it doesn't just rely on basic keyword matching.
Okay.
It utilizes multiple indexing techniques,
Mm-hmm.
even allows for custom ones.
Wow.
So you can actually tailor how it organizes your data
Okay.
for maximum retrieval efficiency.
Okay.
And it can even integrate with those powerful LLMs we talked
Oh,
about.
really?
leading the way.
Context-aware searches.
Exactly.
That's the term the article used, and it really caught my eye.
Yeah.
Because it's like instead of just spitting out every mention of Apple,
Right?
it understands if I'm talking about the fruit, the company, or my friend's band.
Precisely. It's about understanding the intent and the meaning behind your query, not just matching words.
So how does it achieve that?
Well, remember how we talked about Langchain integrating different data sources?
Yeah.
Llamaindex takes a similar approach,
Okay.
but focuses on how those sources are indexed and retrieved.
Okay.
So instead of just dumping all your data into one giant pool,
You can tell Llamaindex, hey, this chunk of data is financial news, this one's historical weather patterns. Like,
Yeah.
treat them differently.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like setting up specialized filing cabinets
Right.
for different types of information.
Okay.
And that's where those custom indexing strategies come in.
Right.
You're not just searching, you're strategically organizing your information for lightning-fast retrieval and these deeper insights.
Okay.
It's about working smarter, not harder.
This is all incredibly cool, but let's get down to like brass tacks here.
Sure.
We've got these two powerful tools,
Yeah.
Langchain for custom NLP, Llamaindex for this high-speed data retrieval.
Right.
How does somebody listening to this decide which one is right for them?
It boils down to your goals, your technical expertise, and how much data you're wrestling with.
Okay.
If you're a developer who's just itching to build the next groundbreaking NLP application, and you've got the coding chops to handle Langchain's complexity, then it's an incredibly powerful tool at your disposal.
Right.
But if you're primarily focused on just finding needles in these massive haystacks of data and doing it quickly, then Llamaindex might be the more efficient choice.
So if Langchain is like crafting a bespoke suit, Llamaindex is like having a personal search and rescue team for your data.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
Okay.
And don't forget that expertise factor.
Okay.
Langchain, while incredibly flexible, it demands this deep understanding of NLP concepts, programming, often machine learning.
Right.
Llamaindex, while still technical, can be more approachable for users that are really focused on managing and extracting insights from these large data sets.
It's like the difference between a master chef who can whip up anything from scratch versus, a skilled cook who can take those prepped ingredients and make something amazing. Both achieve delicious results, but the level of effort and expertise kind of differs.
I like that analogy, yeah.
Speaking of scaling up your culinary creations, let's talk about growth.
Okay.
If you're sitting on a data goldmine that's about to erupt, Llamaindex is built to handle that, right?
It is.
Like it's designed for those scenarios where your data needs are only going to increase.
Exactly, yeah.
That really resonates with me.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've started a project with what I thought was a manageable spreadsheet.
Right.
And then, bam, it exploded into gigabytes of data.
It's overwhelming, yeah.
It was overwhelming.
And that's where Llamaindex's approach to this distributed indexing comes in.
Okay.
It can spread the workload across multiple machines.
Wow.
So you're not limited by the processing power of just a single system. It's like having a whole team of super efficient librarians all working in parallel.
So whether you're dealing with terabytes today or petabytes tomorrow, Llamaindex can scale with you.
It can.
This is all incredibly valuable, but I want to circle back to something that really caught my attention.
Sure.
Those context-aware searches.
Right.
Can you unpack that a bit more? Like, what makes them so powerful, especially for someone who is new to this world?
Imagine this. You're searching for information about Mercury.
Okay.
Right. A traditional search engine might give you this mishmash of results about the planet, the element, Freddie Mercury, the car company, you name it.
Right, total grab bag.
With context-aware searches, the system tries to actually understand what you're really after.
It's like the search engine suddenly became your friend who knows exactly what you mean, even if you don't articulate it perfectly.
Precisely. Yeah. It's about moving beyond keyword matching to this true understanding.
Okay.
And that's where these large language models come into play again. Help to bridge that gap between our human way of asking questions and the way information is actually stored digitally.
Okay.
It's like having a translator embedded in the search process.
So instead of just getting a dump of data, I'm getting results that are actually relevant to my needs, my intent.
Exactly.
That's a game changer, especially when you're dealing with these massive data sets where getting lost is incredibly easy.
Absolutely. And this is still early days, right?
Right. As
these AI models continue to evolve, we can expect even more sophisticated and nuanced approaches to context-aware search. It's a really exciting time to be working with this technology.
It really is. But before we get too caught up in the future, I want to bring it back to our listeners who are ready to dive in and get their hands dirty.
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone trying to decide between Langchain and Llamaindex right now?
Start by clearly defining your problem.
Okay.
What are you actually trying to achieve? What does success look like for you?
Right.
Then consider your own technical skills and your comfort level.
Okay.
Are you a builder who thrives on customization? Or are you looking for the most efficient path to insights?
It's about choosing the right tool for the job, not just the shiniest one.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And remember, both Langchain and Llamaindex have these thriving online communities. Don't hesitate to tap into those resources. Ask questions. Learn from others' experiences. Share your own.
The collaborative spirit is alive and well in the AI world.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up, I want to highlight something you mentioned earlier.
Sure.
This idea of custom indexing strategies in Llamaindex.
Yes.
It's such a powerful concept, and I think it deserves a little more attention.
Okay.
Can you give us a real-world example of how someone might use that to their advantage?
Absolutely. Let's say you're a financial analyst.
Okay.
And you're working with this massive data set of market news, company filings, social media sentiment, you name it.
Right.
With Llamaindex, you can actually tell the system, hey, treat financial news differently than social media chatter.
Okay.
Prioritize time sensitivity for market news, but focus on sentiment analysis for social media.
So instead of just dumping all of this information into one giant pot,
Right.
you're creating these smart filters that help you surface the most relevant insights faster.
Exactly.
It's like having a personalized research assistant who knows exactly how you think and what you're looking for.
Precisely.
That's incredibly powerful, especially as we move towards a world where everyone is dealing with their own unique data deluge.
Right.
It's not just about finding information anymore. It's about finding the right information and doing it quickly.
You hit the nail on the head, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about making data work for you, not the other way around.
This has been an amazing deep dive into the world of Langchain and Llamaindex.
It has.
I feel like I've leveled up my AI knowledge significantly.
It's been my pleasure.
But before we say goodbye, I have one final question for you. We've talked a lot about the technical aspects of these tools.
Right.
But I'm curious about the human element.
Yeah.
What skills, beyond the technical know-how, do you think are essential for someone working with these powerful AI systems?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
While technical proficiency is certainly important,
Right.
I'd say the curiosity, critical thinking,
Okay.
and a healthy dose of skepticism are equally crucial.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by skepticism in this context?
It's about not taking everything these AI systems produce at face value.
Okay.
Remember, they're powerful tools.
Yeah.
But they're still just tools.
Right.
It's our responsibility to critically evaluate the output, question the assumptions, and ensure that we're not blindly following the AI's lead.
So it's about being an active participant in the process, not just a passive consumer of AI-generated insights.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that requires a curious mind.
Yeah.
That's always asking why, what if.
Right.
It's about using these tools to augment our own intelligence, not replace it.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It's about using AI to empower us, not to outsource our thinking.
Precisely.
And that's what makes this field so exciting.
You got it.
It's not just about building smarter machines, it's about building a smarter future.
Yes.
And that requires both technical expertise and human ingenuity.
I agree.
Well said. This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive.
It has been.
And I know our listeners are eager to put this knowledge into action.
I'm confident they will.
But before we sign off, I do want to offer one final thought.
Yep.
As we navigate this rapidly evolving world of AI, it's more important than ever to remember that these tools should be used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely.
We have a responsibility to ensure that AI benefits humanity as a whole, not just a select few.
I agree.
And that requires ongoing dialogue,
It does.
collaboration, and a commitment to using these technologies for good.
I couldn't agree more. It's a conversation we all need to be a part of.
Well said. This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of Langchain and Llamaindex.
It is.
You've given us a lot to think about.
Good.
Not just in terms of choosing the right tool for the job,
Right.
but also in terms of the broader implications of AI and our role in shaping its future.
Absolutely.
As always, a huge thank you to you, our amazing expert, for sharing your insights.
It was my pleasure. Always happy to geek out about AI and its potential.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on another deep dive. We hope this episode has equipped you with the knowledge and inspiration to navigate the exciting and sometimes daunting world of generative AI.
It is exciting.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those big questions. Okay, so you're a financial analyst. You've got Llamaindex humming along, sifting through mountains of market data.
Right.
Give me a concrete example. What's a custom indexing strategy that would give you an edge in that world?
Let's say you're tracking a particular company.
Okay.
Instead of just searching for the company's name, you could create a custom index that prioritizes news articles from specific publications that are known for their accurate reporting on that industry.
Okay, so already like narrowing the scope to the stuff that's actually going to be useful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you could even tell it to pay closer attention to articles that mention specific keywords
Oh, wow.
related to the company's strategic initiative.
So it's like training Llamaindex to think like a seasoned analyst.
Yes.
But at lightning speed.
Exactly.
No more wading through irrelevant news snippets or social media noise.
Right.
It goes straight to the sources that matter most.
It's all about efficiency.
This is blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding data anymore.
Yeah.
It's about curating and refining it in a way that aligns with your unique needs and expertise.
You got it.
Okay.
And here's the kicker.
Okay.
You can combine these custom indexes with LLMs for even more powerful results. Imagine being able to ask Llamaindex,
Yeah.
show me the sentiment around this company's latest product launch,
Okay.
but only consider analysis from reputable financial publications.
That's next level market research.
Right.
It's like having a team of analysts working around the clock, prepped with your specific interests and priorities.
Yeah, it's like having a personalized research team at your fingertips.
This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
We've gone from the basics of Langchain and Llamaindex
Right.
all the way to custom indexing strategies and the future of AI-powered insights.
The possibilities are pretty much endless.
And that's what makes this such a fascinating field.
It is.
But before we wrap things up, I
Yeah.
want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the what and the how of these AI tools, but the why is equally important.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
It's not enough to simply wield these powerful tools.
Right.
We need to be mindful of their purpose and impact.
Exactly. As we become more reliant on AI,
Yeah.
we need to remember that it's not about replacing human intelligence.
Right.
It's about augmenting it.
Yes.
It's about using these tools to empower us to make smarter decisions, solve complex problems, and ultimately create a better future.
Well said. Ultimately, the true potential of AI lies not just in the technology itself,
Right.
but in how we choose to use it.
And that responsibility falls on all of us.
It does.
So, as you explore the exciting world of Langchain, Llamaindex, and beyond,
Yes.
remember to approach it with a critical eye, a curious mind, and a commitment to using these technologies for good. That's it for this deep dive. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. It's been fun.